This year's PLC process is going to use the Google Drive again like we did last year. So what we're going to do is go ahead and sign in with the Ms_McLaughlin at TDA Learn account. The password is TRECA100. So go ahead and sign in. Things have been cleaned up a little bit. Everything's been moved into the old material folder. So we'll go ahead and open the PLC 1314. And you'll see that every content area already has a folder ready to go. And we have a new blank monthly reporting form. What we need to do though is make sure that every team has a copy of this for September and October both. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a copy and then move it into a folder. Your right click on a file name gives you quite a few options. What we are going to do is make a copy, and it will put it right here. So then what we need to do is we can either go ahead and rename it or go ahead and move it, but we'll go ahead and rename it. We'll get rid of copy of, and this will be for the science, and this will be their September form. So science September _. Click OK. Then what we do is with it highlighted, you don't necessarily have to have that check mark there. As long as your mouse is in that file column or row, you're fine. So we'll right click, we're going to move it, open PLC, we're going to move it to science. Click move, and now it's gone. So we'll do the same thing again. We will make a copy, and again we're going to rename it. We're going to get rid of copy of. We'll make this for social studies September _ to separate them. Whoops, not SCO studies, social studies. Okay, and again we will move that to their folder. Move. So this one will always be there, but then when you actually go into your content area folder, you will see your September form. What you will then need to do is make a copy of it and use that again for October. The one thing I want you to know is that we have updated this form quite a bit. Every team for September and October is going to use the same research question. This is to account for your SLOs. This is also resident educators. So it really helps give each team a single focus, but allows for the differentiation that each of you are doing, the different focus. You may want to do your SLO. If you're a resident educator, you may want to focus on one of your goals within that. So the majority of teachers, you really should be focused on your SLO. It's the resident educators that have a little bit of leeway which way they want to go, SLO or RE. So every single team has the exact same document. Remember, you must have your name and your teaching role in the team members present area. So everyone is going to use the same question. What intentionally designed teaching strategy helped students make the most growth as demonstrated through mastery of material? This gives each of you freedom to focus on whatever it is you are doing within your class, but yet still puts you all under the same umbrella of using intentionally designed strategies with students. The second part to that, explain the teacher instruction component. This is really where each teacher can go ahead and write one statement about their focus for that month. Whether it's going back to the content standard of your SLO, or maybe it's the specific teaching strategy you're going to use, whatever, that's fine. The next big change is to the step boxes. They've been streamlined quite a bit. So when you look at step 1, there's all the different questions that you should think about. Notice that within the table, we now have 2 columns. Every teacher now has their own row. So teacher 1 would go ahead and write their name here and track their information in this column for step 1. It is not the recorder's job to fill this out for every single teacher. Every teacher is responsible individually for updating these different steps. It's the recorder's job to send the weekly updates like we did last year. And it will also be the recorder's job to submit the final project at the end of the month. So the same thing has been done for step 2. We have individual tables, and that's a little bit funky, but we can fix that. So again, all the way down to step 3. Step 4, same thing. Step 5, same thing. We've got tables. If your team has identified a best practice that they want to share with other staff members, feel free to explain that here. It's not required, but it's definitely a good thing to share. Individual narratives. We did this last year and we want to go ahead and do it again this year. This is your overall summation of everything you did, everything you found. If you feel that we need a new component, maybe PD, maybe you need additional support, maybe there's a resource we should buy, put that in this column. Again, it's not required, but if you have found something, feel free to include it. This is for next month's focus. And then of course we have the parking lot for future considerations. So the format of the document is pretty much the same. It's just how things are organized that has changed. So this is what we are going to try for September and October both. At the end of October we will evaluate and see how should we change our research question, or do we not need to change our research question? Is it working out? So that'll be a discussion we have at the end of October.